Modern artists, by their rebellious nature, are great narrative sources of inspiration. Many books, movies, and plays have been created to shed light on the mysteries of the artistic process. I'm Christopher James in downtown San Francisco, exploring one of the biggest mysteries in the modern art world. Why has Rudolf Bauer, forefather of abstraction, been relegated to obscurity while the ever-celebrated Kandinsky has remained in the spotlight? To gain insight, our first stop is San Francisco's own Weinstein Gallery, currently hosting the most comprehensive exhibition of Rudolf Bauer's body of work. Luke Weinstein, knowledgeable art dealer and host, provided some background information on the artist. Luke suggested I spend some one-on-one time with the paintings before our discussion. Alone with the non-objective, colorful paintings, I felt a great pull between calm and chaos. So many of the paintings were created in the 1910s and 20s, a decade before Kandinsky and Rudolf Bauer ever met. Through my research, I have come to the conclusion that Rudolf Bauer prized his freedom to create above all. He was not willing to compromise his artistic integrity for celebrity status. This is truly a formidable collection. As I made a second tour of the gallery, I discovered a small room I had missed before. It contained framed drawings on paper. My heart skipped a beat. I had read about these but never seen one in person. It was time to talk to Luke.
So Bauer was incarcerated in 1938 by the Nazis for being a degenerate artist. Do you know what a degenerate artist is? It was an artist who didn't do artwork in the same frame that Hitler believed was credible. And so this included all the modern artists, the surrealists, the abstract artists, and so they began to run the artists out of Europe, incarcerating them, sometimes killing them. Bauer refused to leave, and ultimately the Gestapo picked him up and incarcerated him. And over the course of the year that he was in prison, he began to trade cigarettes and try for pencils and paper, and he was able to do what we believe were daily rebellions. I suppose if you're incarcerated by the Nazis for doing degenerate art, that if they catch you in Gestapo prison camp doing degenerate art, that they're probably going to kill you. I know that when Bauer was freed from Nazi prison camp, he smuggled them out, and when he leaves Europe, he's unable to bring his artwork with him. He comes sans artwork, and so I think that these ended up. I believe they were in Austria for a lot of years. When he escapes, ultimately he passes away, and his wife, who was the maid that Hilary Bay hired for him, Hilary Bay, who loved him dearly, felt very betrayed that he fell in love with and married the maid she hired. But after Guggenheim died, and after his wife, the maid, died, ultimately this collection was found donated to charity. Yeah, so originally I had a client in the gallery who, he was the president of KRON TV, and the two of us were driving out to Inverness to see some local art. There was a surrealist that he was really interested in there, working out there. And so when we were driving out there, I got to talking to him about Bauer. And I said to him, how does one do a documentary? I'm sitting on this story that involves an artist who had a rise and fall, and who was incarcerated by the Nazis and got involved in the love triangle. And ultimately, he becomes so enthusiastic about the the story that he offered the facilities of KRON-TV to do the documentary. And we spent what was going to be a 6-month project, a little promotional video. It really turned into a large project where we did a full featured documentary, which was nominated here locally for an Emmy, and then ultimately it won a lot of awards nationwide for film festivals. 2 years ago, we became really interested in working with the SF Playhouse. We think they're doing amazing, innovative plays that are cutting edge. And we had shown our documentary to Bill English. Bill English saw the documentary about Rudolf Bauer's rise and then ultimate fall, and the intricacies of the story where he falls in love with the maid, he's incarcerated by the Nazis, and ultimately sees just a real opportunity to make a play. He came to us and he says, I'm pretty sure that there's a play in this, and so we set out to do just that. He had reached out to playwright Lauren Gunderson and put together the makings of. She saw the documentary and got to work. It's been about a 2-year process.
As I walked towards San Francisco Playhouse, there was one piece of the puzzle that would not fit. Why would Bauer risk his life creating degenerate art, mostly on the back of Nazi propaganda, and then never paint again after he received his freedom? Maybe the play will provide the answer. I was happy to find a small collection of the pencil drawings from prison adorning the hall of the theater.
My name is Natalia. I think it's a very compelling play. It really makes you think, and you really got to pay attention. It's really intricate.
So what I loved about Bauer is the way that it marries both the artistic side and the human side of the artist Bauer, and it combines it in both a visual and an emotional way with both projections and actors all together, and it's just a beautiful experience.
I hope that you guys see the play tonight. I'd be delighted, and that would be just incredible, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you think.
Yeah, great.
Hi, I'm Stacy.
And I'm Ronald. And we both created Bauer at the San Francisco
Playhouse. And now,
come and join us.
I'm going to go catch my barge.
It wants the story to be told.
Yeah, exactly.
As it should. It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Where life and art mingles. It's not always the case.
Yeah.
And then we go into New York, where there's going to be even more so of a,
special grant for. So we have a very state-of-the-art video system now that allows us to layer all of these components in. So our projection designer actually took a Bauer painting apart and took out all of these separate elements and isolated them so that we would have all of these individual strokes. And Ronald Gutman, the actor, actually just like according to the music and his own speed, makes the movements, and I sit in the booth and watch him and just go with him. So I just, press a button on the computer and each stroke comes out. So basically the entire end of the show is me being there for 3 minutes trying not to blink with my finger over a keyboard and just glued to his movement.
This play, especially because it was written by a woman about two strong women loving a very strong man, and you don't get roles very often where the women are this strong And it's such a great triangle of love and about art and freedom that it's just an honor to be able to say these words.
Yeah.
And we did that because Louisa really did have long hair.
Did she? Okay.
We found some photographs of her posed by the swimming pool with her hair down, and it went all the way to there, and was this wavy hair that you could tell in others she had braids. And so I just said, I want to have that because we know Louisa's a wild woman.
I had a great time talking with the cast and crew, and I finally had my answer. The story takes place years after Rudolf Bauer's arrival in the United States. He has stubbornly refused to make another painting after being contracted by the Guggenheim, essentially making all his output property of the museum. The rebel artist, in his final act of defiance, never set brush to canvas again. A lifetime of work was held in storage at the Guggenheim for 70 years. This is the true reason for his relative obscurity. Fortunately, you and I can reverse this injustice and give Rudolf Bauer center stage once again. I'm Christopher James. Until next time, surround yourself with art.